Hello YouTube viewers, this is my review of America's Got Talent, the third week of the quarterfinals. I want to start off by saying again that last week I was 4 for 4 with the acts I went through, so I'm on a perfect streak so far. Go me, go. In these 12 acts, there were a lot of acts that stood out, so there are a lot of acts that have a good chance of moving on. The first act to go up was the Summer Wind Skippers. They're a jump roping crew from Idaho. They did a really cool dance jump rope routine to Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO. It was really modern, it was really hip, they had dancers in the back, and I really liked it. The chances I think they have of moving on, I don't know, because there were a lot of other acts that I really liked that I think are going to relate to America a lot more, but I really like them personally, so I hope they go through. The second act to go up was the Shabazz Boys. They're 3 young boys who rap. I think they're likable by America. I think just for the cute factor, they have a good chance of moving on because America's gonna love them. We'll see. I don't know if it'll be enough to move on just compared to some of the other acts. The next act to go up was Mauricio Herrera. He is a Latin entertainer slash singer kind of guy. I don't like him at all. He got 2 X's from the judges, and I agree, I would have X'd him like that. It just was not good. Not good. The next act to go up was Seth Grable. He's a magician. His act tonight was hyped up a lot, and I think that worked well for him. Because the act itself, the trick itself, he was in this straitjacket contraption, and then they dropped him into what they said was a vat of boiling water, or boiling tar. But then they opened it and there was nothing in it. But I think the fact that it was different, it was unique, and the judges really hyped up about it at the end, saying how unique and different and cool it was. I think he has a good chance of moving on. Maybe in the 4th or 5th slot in the judge's choice, but I didn't like the trick. I would choose him to move on, but we'll see. The next act to go up was Pop Life. They're a teenage band. They did a cover of Rolling in the Deep by Adele, great song, and they were one of my favorite acts of the night. I loved them from the beginning. I picked them as one of my favorites from their audition. I think they have a really good chance of moving on. Next to go up was Ian Johnson. He is a yo-yo performer. He's going to be a junior in high school. I don't get the whole yo-yo thing. I don't think it can be a headlining act in Vegas. That's my problem with this act. I think it's really cool. He did mess up a few times though, which wasn't that good. He got X'd by peers. I just don't think it's gonna be able to move on because what else can you do with a yo-yo? The next to go up was Landau Eugene Murphy Jr. He is the Frank Sinatra type singer. It was just phenomenal. I love his voice. Frank Sinatra is probably one of my favorite singers, and I just love that smooth, soulful voice, bluesy, jazzy voice, and it really worked for me. And you just don't expect that voice to come out from him. He doesn't look like a person just by the way he talks and the way he acts. He doesn't seem like that kind of person to have that kind of voice. One of my favorites to move on tonight. The next act to go up was Perfect Angels. They're a dance team. They were all NFL cheerleaders. I thought it was good. I thought it, was sexy, but I don't know if it's gonna move on. I don't think their dancing is just up to the caliber of some of the other acts, so I don't think they're gonna move on now. The next act to go up was Monet. She's a 12-year-old singer. Tonight she sang Home from the movie The Wiz. If you haven't seen it, it's a really funny movie. Spin-off of Wizard of Oz, and it's sung by Diana Ross. Her singing was off a little bit on some of the notes. I agree with what the judges said. Her singing was off a bit. I love her as a person. I love her story, her passion. She has a big voice on those big notes, but she just didn't stand out enough to be able to move on to the next round. The next act to go was Captain and Mabel. They're a sideshow act. What they did tonight was he stuck a hook in his tongue and he lifted a pan, and then she did something with her nose and then he put 2 hooks on the bottom of his eyelids. Like, he took this part out and put hooks inside and picked up like a tea kettle. The judges didn't really watch him, and I didn't really want to watch him either, but I did. It was just weird. I mean, it was probably one of the better sideshow acts that have ever been on America's Got Talent, just because it is so gory and disgusting. But I don't think they're going to move on just because it's so gory and disgusting, and I don't think it's going to relate to a lot of Americans. The next act to go up was Lise Agnes. She's an opera singer with another great... They had so many great stories tonight. She had another great story. Her fiancé died, and then she got back into singing. This week she did a more upbeat opera song, and I liked it. I think for her audition, she did a powerful, moving song, and then for this, she did a more upbeat song to show her confidence, her sexiness, get the sex appeal in there. I think that Lise showed her confidence, showed her voice. She was spot on most of those notes, and just showed that she is more versatile than opera song, opera song, opera song. And I think she has a good chance of moving on, even though Piers didn't fully like her. The last act to go was Professor Splash. He is a high diver. He jumps into a kiddie pool with 12 inches of water. This act is pretty scary, but I don't know what else he can do with it. In his audition, he jumped. In his Vegas, he jumped higher. And then they asked him, the judges asked him, what else can you do? And then he's like, I can jump through fire into a pool of fire and water. And I don't know, he didn't show anything different this week except for he went a little higher. So I don't know exactly if he does move on. I don't know what he's going to do, but I think he does have a good chance of moving on just because the judges were all hype about his whole performance. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is choose my top 5 acts. Remember, only 4 acts are going to move on tomorrow's episode, so these are my picks. So my 5 choices were Pop Life, Landau Eugene Murphy Jr., Lise Agnes, Professor Splash, and then Seth Grable the Magician. And out of those 5 acts, if I had to choose 4 to move on, I would choose Pop Life, Landau Eugene Murphy Jr., Lise Agnes, and Professor Splash. So that's my review for the week. Remember that America's Got Talent comes on Tuesdays and Wednesdays on NBC at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And stay tuned. Rate the video, a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe, comment, please. Thank you. Okay, bye.